Today on Ultima Gaming, we command and conquer in Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. Then we jack into the virtual world 6 times with Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. Is that really the phrase they use? And finally, the long-awaited sequel, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, has finally blessed us with its presence. Oh no, he's still hot! It's game time. Please welcome the man with an unyielding spirit, Hunter Gid.
Really, at this point in my life, it's more of an undead spirit. Not a lot going on for me at this point. Greetings and welcome to Ultima Gaming, a show in some parts of the world known as, sorry, this video is unavailable in your country. On today's episode, we've got 3 fantastic Switch titles to go through, including Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, a remake/partial collection of the original Game Boy Advance game, Advance Wars. And then later on the show, we're going to be taking a look at the highly acclaimed game that we have been waiting years for, and I mean years, and it's finally come to the Nintendo Switch. That's right, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. I'm so excited to finally get my hands on that one. And of course, we've got this other small game that some people were excited for, known as The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We'll get to that later on the show, but first, let's go back to Advance Wars. Let's take a look at the partial remake part collection. It's kind of a weird combination going on there, but regardless, let's see if it's any good. Here's Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. Weird title.
Lucky Star.
While Fire Emblem has been Nintendo's standard for the past decade when it comes to tactical turn-based RPG games, Advance Wars holds a special place in the hearts of longtime Nintendo fans, even if it is a bit more niche nowadays. 1+2 Reboot Camp gives you the 2-for-1 special. It's part remake, part collection, in a single game. Originally released in 2001 on the Game Boy Advance, Advance Wars offered players the chance to control an army in the role of a commanding officer as you fight your way through the country and overtake various cities. Missions are relatively simple, and you're graded based on speed and efficiency. The higher the grade, the more currency you earn, allowing you to purchase things like extra characters, maps, and various game modes. If you're looking for a deep, compelling story, you won't find much here, as both games offer little in terms of plot besides different groups trying to blow each other up. Granted, these characters can sometimes be charming, and have their personalities shine through dialogue, and fully animated cutscenes are also a welcome addition to the new collection. When it comes to picking the character you'd like to use, each commanding officer, or CO for short, offers different unique abilities that can help you in battle, such as Max being a literal tank-heavy powerhouse who loves to blast through enemies with ease. Keep in mind, with strengths come weaknesses, so you'll have to plan each battle accordingly. Visually, the game has a cute anime aesthetic, mixing 2D graphics for character profiles with 3D models for player icons and environments on the map. Each CO also has their own unique theme that matches their personality, and the music overall is incredibly mixed and drives the feeling of urgency during missions. Speaking of missions, you can tackle the main campaigns for both games in addition to the War Room, where you can take on unique challenges against AI in a variety of different missions with varying goals. There's also the Design Room, allowing you to create your own maps and environments for you to play different hypothetical battle scenarios. While the game doesn't offer online play, you are able to play locally with friends, and on the system like the Switch, having the local online option is nice, but in this day and age, we'd like to see a little more effort on the online part. Overall, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp is a great remake and partial collection of the Advance Wars series, and a great starting point for anyone interested in getting into the series. It doesn't offer anything we haven't seen already, but with an overhauled aesthetic, fully animated cutscenes and cute charm, it's a great entry tactical RPG with minimal difficulty curve until late in the game. Now, if only we get that online play, and maybe a second collection with more Advance Wars titles. Advance Wars Reboot Camp 1+2 gets 4 tanks out of 5.
Who knew war could be so much fun? And no, I'm not going to take that joke any further. But moving on to happier things, did you know in 2001 we dreamed of a utopia with devices in your hands that could do fantastic, amazing, incredible things that we could only dream about? Things like email and phone calls and Battle Network didn't age very gracefully, did it? Well, not fully, entirely, but there are still some cool futuristic ideas that the series has given us that we still don't see in reality. Just take a look at what I'm talking about.
The Mega Man franchise has gone through many iterations over the years, and the Battle Network series is by far the most unique of the group. Released originally on the Game Boy Advance, with the entire series spanning the life of the system, Battle Network took the side-scrolling run-and-gun playstyle and tossed it out the window, in favor of an action RPG with an incredibly unique battle system, a brand new cast of characters, many of which whom are human, and a unique setting that mixes the real world and the World Wide Web. Within Battle Network, Mega Man and his friends exist as virtual assistants called NetNavis in devices called Personal Terminals, or PETs. These PETs are the wave of the future, able to do incredible things like checking email and making phone calls and browsing the internet? Listen, in 2001, our minds were blown. One thing that PETs and NetNavis have, however, that are still a long ways away, is just how useful and unique each one is. From personal customization to appearance, to their ability to interact with almost any internet-connected device in the world, we're still waiting to have our very own Mega Man located in our smartphones. The games focus on Lan Hikari and his NetNavi Mega Man as they work together to save the world from evil organizations who use viruses to control devices in the real world to cause chaos. Classic characters are referenced throughout the series, with humans having their own counterparts and NetNavis being reimaginings of old Mega Man bosses. Each human typically owns a single PET that contains a single NetNavi, and the two will often share a strong bond and share personality traits. Some are friendly, but others are always looking for a fight. Battles are done in a unique grid system, with Mega Man and enemies facing each other. Every 10 or 15 seconds or so, Mega Man can equip new battle chips, which allow him to use different abilities and weapons as a one-time use. Once the chips are used up, you can only fight with your basic Buster move until the meter fills up again. Your folder containing your battle chips is fully customizable, allowing you to collect chips as you go and create your own sort of battle deck for what you'd prefer to use in a fight. Enemies in the game are mostly random encounters, so you'll want to stock up on a variety of different weapons and items for use. Battle Network Legacy Collection contains all 6 games that were originally released on the Game Boy Advance, also containing both versions that exist of games 3, 4, 5, and 6, with the different versions only containing mild differences. The collection itself doesn't offer too many extras, but does include a jam-packed art gallery, music collection, and a high-def filter that makes the games mildly more large-screen TV friendly. It even features Mega Man himself within the menus, voiced by Andrew Francis, who voiced Mega Man in the NT Warrior anime. In addition, you can turn your Switch into your own little PET, having online battles with friends, and trading battle chips with other equipment. With 6 games included, 10 if you include the multiple versions of some titles, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection is an incredible value at $60. Factor in the fact that these games take roughly 20 hours each or so to fully complete, and you've got tons of great Mega Man in the palm of your hands. Assuming you're playing on a Switch, that is. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection gets a 5 out of 5.
I still really want my own NetNavi someday, and I want it, even if it has half the intelligence of Siri, I think we'll all be much happier. On to the grand finale, the one you've all been waiting for, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Believe it or not, It's not just Breath of the Wild DLC. Who knew? But was it worth a 6-year wait? We got that initial announcement a while ago, but the original game, Breath of the Wild, came out all the way in 2017. And now here we are, nearing the end of the Switch's life cycle. And how does it fare compared to the original? Here's our review.
A game like Breath of the Wild only comes once in a generation, maybe even two for gaming. And yet, Nintendo managed to do the impossible and take a game like Breath of the Wild and elevate it to a point where the original looks like a tech demo. Tears of the Kingdom is the culmination of everything Nintendo wished they could have done 6 years ago with Breath of the Wild, taking the original map and adding multiple layers of depth and content, taking what was once a vast open world that sometimes may have felt a little empty, and have managed to jam-pack this massive world with surprises around every corner, on land, in the sky, and even deep in the chasms down below. What starts off as an adventure and flow that feels all too familiar, you quickly realize that Tears of the Kingdom is much more than a DLC expansion or more of the same. While certain staple mechanics do remain from Breath of the Wild, including weapons breaking and increasing your stamina and hearts through puzzles and trials of shrines, the new Ultra Hand and building mechanics of the game have changed the way you handle just about anything. The possibilities are truly endless, from creating hover bikes that let you quickly traverse the lands, to bomber jets that will destroy anything in the land below, and whatever this is. If you can dream it, you can build it. And that's the magic of Tears of the Kingdom. Without the building mechanic, there still exists an incredibly rich, thrilling experience of a game, but with it, you're only limited by your imagination. Of course, this also means you'll sometimes feel overwhelmed at the vast array of options you have when building. This can work to your advantage, however, as shrines and puzzles will typically have one way the developer intends for you to solve, but you'll come to find there's many ways of overcoming obstacles. Depending on your inventory, you might be able to build something from scratch in order to reach an area far away, or if you're in a shrine, you might be able to construct something from what's already available and build your own path to the goal. Weapons are also abundant with possibilities, with the ability to fuse a multitude of items together and create unique tools and weapons you may have never thought of. In addition to the vast lands of Hyrule, you'll explore the Sky Islands above, finding the ancient construct robots and their many devices, as well as the depths below underground, in the gloom-infested caves, full of surprises and incredibly strong enemies. Tears of the Kingdom approaches several things in the same style as Breath of the Wild, for better or worse. After leaving the tutorial area, the game lets you pick your own path, only giving you small waypoints on the map to travel to without much additional guidance. While there are some fantastic cutscenes to better experience the story, these scenes are still tucked away at landmarks around the map, and it's easy to find them out of order or miss them entirely if you aren't paying attention. Regardless, Tears of the Kingdom still manages to tell one of the greatest Legend of Zelda stories we've seen in the modern era, and deserves its place at or near the top of the greatest Zelda titles of all time. It's one thing to make a great sequel, it's another thing to make your predecessor look dull by comparison. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom gets a 5 out of 5.
And there you have it. It's not just fancy DLC, it's a whole new game that makes its predecessor look weak by comparison. And that is the mark of a good sequel, and that is why Nintendo is just phenomenal with the Legend of Zelda series. And, they always knock it out of the park. Usually. Often. Sometimes. Hey, thank you all for joining us today on Ultima Gaming. I know it's been a minute, but hey, if you're new here, you're seeing this for the first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us what your thoughts were on these 3 titles or what other games you're looking forward to. Also, you can find us over on TikTok at VGX7TV, where we post some unique content, behind the scenes stuff going on there, including an unboxing of the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Collector's Edition, which I have to say is one of the finest Collector's Editions I've seen in recent memory. So if you got your hands on that, I think you've really got something special. But as always, thank you all so much for watching us on Ultima Gaming here on the VGX7 network. You can also go to patreon.com/VGX7 if you want to support this show and others like it. Maybe if we get a few Patreons in there, maybe the podcast will come back. You know, maybe. I don't know. But again, thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.